Hello everyone. We're going today to look at building a paragraph much like a hamburger. Where hamburgers have to be built to be really good, we're going to build a really terrific paragraph using this PowerPoint. So let's go ahead and get started. Paragraphs are a bit like hamburgers. You have to build them. Notice that the top of your bun is going to be like the topic or your thesis sentence. The lettuce is going to be your first supporting sentence. The tomato adds a second supporting sentence. The cheese is the third supporting sentence. The meat is the last supporting sentence, and most of the time the most important one. And the conclusion is the bottom bun. Your topic or your thesis sentence then is what your topic is about. What are you writing about? What is it that you want to say to your readers? Take a look at the short paragraph in the box. There are many reasons that I love to teach. Now you're telling your reader what it is that they're going to be reading about in the paragraph. That is the thesis or the topic of your paragraph. Usually that goes in the very beginning. Sometimes it'll be the second sentence. The first sentence of your paragraph is usually your thesis. It always needs to be indented. Notice that there's an indentation there, okay? Because that's going to tell the person when you start your next paragraph, that's also going to be indented. It tells them that you're going on to a new thought. It also tells us that your paragraph is going to be about something, and it's about the fact that I love to teach. Let's go on, keep building. The first supporting sentence is the lettuce. Supporting sentence meaning that you've made that first sentence. There are many reasons that I love to teach. Now you're going to support why you're saying that. Your reader is saying, okay, you love to teach. That's good. Why? Here comes your lettuce. Your lettuce should not be the most important detail, but it should support or hold up the top bun, okay? That beginning sentence. First of all, I love to teach because I love being at school. Notice that it needs to follow directly after the topic or your thesis sentence, because if it didn't, you would be putting the supports before the roof. If you're building a house, you don't put your supports on top of the roof. Your roof is your thesis sentence, and you certainly wouldn't put the lettuce on the outside of the bun. Or maybe you would, but not going to build a very good paragraph that way. Needs to be full of good lettucey details. First of all, I love to teach because I love being at school. We're saying why, okay? I'm not just saying, first of all, I love to teach. I'm going into a little bit more detail. Now bear in mind that these are really simplistic sentences, and of course you're probably going to be using a lot more complicated sentences, but for this particular lesson we wanted to go ahead and just kind of keep it simple. Okay, let's go on to the next one. The second supporting sentence. Now you're going to be supporting the topic and you're going to be supporting what you said before. So now we're going to be digging in a little bit deeper. But notice that it still should not be the most important detail. We're still building up to that. We're still building up to the most important detail. Another reason I love teaching is that the days go by quickly. Okay, needs to follow directly after the lettuce sentence or the first supporting. Needs to be full of juicy details. Okay, this one's going to be even more detailed than your first or your supporting sentence. Okay, the third supporting sentence. Now we're into the cheese. It's still not the most important detail. The third reason I love to teach is because I love seeing a student understand something new. Notice that each sentence builds upon each other to get a little longer, a little more in detail. Needs to start differently than the other two sentences. Notice that we popped into a different area. In the first two, I'm talking about my experience with teaching. Now I'm talking about what I'm seeing as in the effect of the classroom or what students are experiencing. Needs to be full of good cheesy details. Well, I don't know about cheesy, but details. Okay, the last supporting sentence, of course, now we're getting into the meat of the whole thing. We need to know that, we need at least to make our readers know that, okay, now we're getting to the point. We've beat around the bush long enough. We've given them lots of support. We've built it up to it. And finally, we are at the most important detail. This should start differently than most of the other sentences. Get to the point. This is where we're getting to the meat of the paragraph. Finally, I love to teach because I love to be around kids. Okay? Needs to be full of good meaty detail. This is what you started out to say, and this is the most important part. So you kind of almost save the best for last. And then we're going to put the bottom bun on there, and your concluding sentence should look a lot like your topic sentence. In some of your readings, you're going to hear that it's going to restate the thesis or the topic sentence. Well, it may not restate it exactly, but it's going to be pretty close. More or less, the bottom bun or your conclusion is just going to put everything in a nutshell. It's going to summarize your topic sentence. These are just a few reasons why I love to teach. Notice it almost mirrors the beginning or the topic sentence. And it needs to be an obvious end to the paragraph or the sentence. Okay, it needs to be an obvious end. A lot of times, notice the second to the last sentence says finally. Basically, that is known as a conclusion, a conclusion a concluding statement. Finally, I love to teach because I love to be around kids. These are just a few reasons why I love to teach. Those two sentences are actually your conclusion statement, okay? But a concluding sentence is generally your last sentence, and it ties everything up. And that's pretty much how you build a paragraph like a hamburger. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration. Thanks.